If you don't know the name Iman Gadzhi, you might well recognize his face from YouTube, or you may have heard something about a kid from Russia who made $1 million at the age of just 18. This driven and brutally honest individual started out in social media marketing and has expanded into various fields, which include the educational industry and recently the NFT space. Iman's story is eye-opening and shows you don't need prestigious qualifications to earn a fortune and set an example for others. In fact, he famously describes himself as a high school dropout. How did he go from poverty to an inspirational business figure in a few short years? Let's look at his journey and find out. He was born in a small Russian town in 2000. His mother, to whom he remains very close, raised him on her own after his father left. Iman describes his father as an alcoholic who treated her very badly. Times were most certainly hard. She reportedly worked not just one but 3 jobs to support young Iman, so when she found love again with a man from England, it looked like a glimmer of hope for the family. She and Iman relocated to London, where everything changed dramatically. Iman attended private school and lived in the most exclusive areas of the city. It sounds like a dream come true, but a nasty surprise was laying around the corner unbeknownst to Iman. The surprise: his mother separated from his stepfather. This led 14-year-old Iman to stare poverty in the face once again.
Something like the Good Life Eatery, that's like £15. I can't pay £15 for that at this point. That's not something I can afford.
An uncertain future lay ahead, and Iman felt like his duty was to protect his mom. But how exactly was he going to do this? This was the turning point, and Iman decided to start his first business. Like many young guys, Iman harbored dreams of playing professional football. As it turned out, the football page went on to play a crucial role in his career, just not in the way he expected. This led him to find another way to make money, so he started with Instagram. Iman flipped accounts for a profit by buying and selling accounts, but one bad decision made him lose it all by investing in an account that failed drastically. Undiscouraged, he came to a realization that he could train people because he had a love for fitness and would read personal training manuals 24/7. With this, he managed to convince his friends' parents into letting them train them. As a result, he was making a couple £100 a month, which led him to invest in himself and buy his first Canon camera, which cost around £400. Going back to Iman's football career, playing the game wasn't written in the stars for him. Managing his local club's social media, on the other hand, was. Iman's interest in Instagram and other platforms paid off for him in an unexpected way. He'd been making videos and putting himself out there previously. When he saw that his local football club wasn't precisely scoring in the social media department, he saw his chance. Even though he didn't grasp the enormity of what he was on the cusp of, blindsided when asked what he charged for as a retainer, he came back with a figure of mere $94 per week. Not a bad outcome for a teenager just starting out, but at the same time far from a fortune. A very modest wage plus previous experience with Instagram accounts meant this young man had inadvertently started on the path to serious money. The year was 2016 and Iman Gadzhi had entered the realm of social media marketing. It's here that he began routines and techniques that he still uses today. One of the most important of these is reading. Iman ultimately didn't complete his education. That didn't mean he was a stranger to the written word. During his YouTube videos, you'll hear him mention a second-hand bookshop called Bookmongers in Brixton, London, where he picked up printed pearls of wisdom. He turned vital passages from books into what he calls information packets, highlighting and scanning particular pages and having a digital reference point on standby for inspiration. From working for a local football club, it took him an entire 7 months to find his next client. Even though the majority of people would have given up, he was hooked. Iman's next client was a software company called Athlete, now called Gemflow. He talked his way in the door and wound up with an approximately $2,400 per month media marketing client. Not bad for his age. This important client was landed after Iman sent a quote when he was supposed to be paying attention in class. This was the turning point in Iman's agency career. Over the next 2 weeks, he signed 2 more clients for £1,500 or close to $1,900, and the other for £750 or around $950. Within an incredible 14 days, he went from his £300 client to making around £4,150 per month or roughly $5,200, all while he was still in high school. After this happened, Iman reached the numbers he had set for himself, so he decided to fulfill the promise he had made to himself 3 weeks prior, which was to drop out of high school. He describes it as a nightmare. He felt anxious and doubtful. He said that he remembered walking around London looking at houses with tears in his eyes because he was doubting if he had thrown away the education his mom had sacrificed for him her whole life. The real world was staring Iman in the eyes. Not long after he dropped out of high school, he signed more clients including Zebra Fuel and Furo Systems. At this point of his journey, he was making well beyond the 6-figure threshold successful and was living the dream. But like any young entrepreneur or even the most experienced ones, setbacks are inevitable. It came to a point in Iman's business that he was losing clients along the way, but that did not stop him from finding solutions in his business. Iman understood that there was only one way he could continue growing his clients' businesses, and that was through paid advertising, specifically Facebook ads. At this point in his life, he spent all his minutes studying Facebook ad services and trying every course he could get his hands on, but unfortunately he failed every single time. After months of self-study and trial and error, he was able to get over the hump with Facebook ads and finally make it work.
Her Facebook ads are working.
Now in 2017, Iman's life drastically improved. He continued to work on his agency and made it even bigger than the previous year. He signed 4 new big clients, and he also had business flights to Amsterdam, in which he signed 5 other new clients. As we know, Iman didn't grow up in the best financial situation, and when he was 17 years old, he was able to get his own first apartment. This was a huge dream for Iman because he was able to get a place where he could call home and bring peace to him. 2017 really was a breakthrough year for him because at only 17 years old, he was able to hit $20,000 per month. All the hard work, struggles, and pain he had to go through in his life was starting to pay off, but he also realized he had so much to grow as a business owner, so that is what he did in 2018 and the following years. As 2018 came along, Iman focused on building structures for his business, building his team, signing bigger clients, and investing in himself to grow as a businessman. He was able to lock in his first few whale clients, which are clients that paid him around $8,000 a month, which comes out to around $100,000 a year in service fees. For example, he talked about signing a big tech client that he frankly wasn't supposed to close, but because he was prepared as a young businessman and was in the flow state leading up to the meeting, he was able to close the deal. He was able to do 2-day consulting trainings in which he charged around $20,000.
I have a 2-day training with a company out here called Motivate Design. So if you guys don't already know, for a 2-day training, I charged $20,000.
And this year, he was also able to accomplish another big goal of his, which was to buy his first $15,000 Rolex and a couple other watches, since he has a big love for watches. On top of this, he was able to spoil himself and other people close to him a bit because he was finally reaching a financial position that would allow him to do this. In 2019, Iman continued to grow his agency, and like he did in 2018, he focused more on signing whale clients. This was the year he went absolutely mad when it came to signing whale clients, and he was able to hit his first $100,000 profit per month in July of 2019. He also decided to enjoy his wealth more and added more watches to his watch collection. As he continued growing his agency, growing his educational company, and expanding his social media presence from 2020 to 2021, his total net worth rose to almost $10 million by the end of the year. This was done mostly through his investments, which he invested about $1 million in cryptocurrencies and $1 million into watches. His agency did about $1.6 million in profit, and his educational company did about $1.2 million. Adding that up with about $7 million in crypto and watches, it would be around $10 million, as we see on this chart from one of Iman's videos where he broke down his profits of his journey throughout the years. Now this year in 2020, Iman has made around $7 million cash flow in profits, all from his businesses, and is confident to say he will hit another 8-figure year. He recently launched his newest business, which is an NFT project called Jen's Croquet Club. It is an exclusive men's member and mastermind club that uses an NFT as a pass to get in. When it launched, he made around $4.5 million. While all this has been happening, he has been doing around $1 million a month in profit from his businesses and has built up a lot of cash flow, which he plans to invest more into crypto and buy a lot of properties in the next coming year. So that is the story of how Iman went from absolutely nothing to around $20 to $25 million at the age of just 22.